Okay. Kevin, we're
Yes,
back.
yes,
Oh my
finally. After
goodness. It's
when was the last one we did? Like fucking
when
August?
no, when Dancing in the Flames came out in September.
Oh yeah, that was September. Okay. Feels like it was a
I,
while ago, but
yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah. If anyone's watching this, I'm sorry about the delay. We were trying to figure out the PowerPoint feature on StreamYard, which we finally figured out, which is good. So we're here now. So
yeah,
yeah, no,
StreamYard's
this is
like
extremely.
changed
Mhm.
like drastically since we last did this. So it's like we gotta implement all those features.
It's changed so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing a live stream because I really wanted Kevin and I to continue what we've been doing with the Sao Paulo show when we did for Dancing with the
Yes.
Flames and talking about the singles and just the rollout and stuff like that, because we are gonna do a live stream when the album comes out and stuff like that. And so I want to finally do Timeless with Kevin, and of course, Sao Paulo, which came out, almost like
Yes.
a week ago or so. But the film news today with Lionsgate acquiring the Hurry Up Tomorrow film, I didn't have the time today to do like its own like solo video on it. But I really want to talk about it because film is like, especially for Kevin, and I like that's like the art form that we first really grew in love with. Like Kevin was kind of like Broadway and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But like for us, like film is like how we bonded over and stuff like that. And it's just a massive thing. So let's just get into this finally. So Kevin, how are you doing today, first of all?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good. I had a full day of movies today. One was good, one was kind of shit, and the other one was great. Figure out which one. I'm not going to tell you. You know, but I'm not going to tell you because I want you guys to.
Wow, you're being mysterious, Kevin.
It was The Line, Amelia Perez, and Juror Number Two. You can make the decision as to which is which. But either way, very excited for this. Yeah, it's really funny because like we had this video planned, and then this news happened, and I literally said to Violet, I was like, "Oh my god, we're literally doing this at the perfect time!" Like,
We literally are. We literally are.
so,
So yeah, no,
and
we like.
got a whole new setup since the last time we did this, so that's really cool. We don't have
Kevin
an
does
arm
have a
this
whole new
time, but we
setup.
do have like the lighting and all this new furniture and shit. So it's a good day. It's a good day.
It's a good day to be Mr. Falk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, today has been a good day. Today has been a solid day. So it's been a good day. Yeah, so
Calm before the
I
storm, because Jesus Christ, who knows how tomorrow's gonna be?
yeah, that's a whole can of worms.
Oh yeah.
Before we get more further into this, though, I do just quickly want to say, I want to give my condolences, to the Quincy Jones family, and also, just of course, like rest in peace to the greatest producer, of all time.
Oh yeah.
Just obviously, I think, of course, like the first thing, is like, yes, this is live indeed.
This is very much
So
live.
I didn't have the time there to do a video on the movie news, and I wanted to do Timeless and Sao Paulo with Kevin, and so we're finally doing it. But I first want to just say, just condolences to Quincy Jones. I know we always focus on, of course, like the Michael Jackson stuff, of course, but also just like,
Yeah.
of course, a shout out to like the stuff like Herbie Hancock, like George Benson, even like some Frank Sinatra stuff. Just like that man just conquered so much musically, especially also in film. You have like The Wiz, like The Color Purple,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And just like there's just so much that like you can say about just like a genius and like such like it's so rare for music to feel the emotion of the production and just the feeling of it all. And Quincy Jones just was just a genius in so many ways. And of course, with Abel, there's a strong connection there, of course. And so yeah, so that is I just want to quickly just say that because that's really, really important to say. Do you have any thoughts on that, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to look through like his body of work because you realize just like how much he really did for music, how much he contributed. And so it's definitely a really big loss for sure. But he leaves behind like just such a strong legacy. And there's just so many artists that would just not exist if it wasn't for Quincy Jones. So
Yeah.
definitely very tragic to see, but like I said, a real legacy to look back on. I think immediately the thing that comes to my mind, one of the first things is honestly, what he did for Don FM. I think that's one of the first things I think about because I think that was just such a it was such a nice like surprise. It's like you kind of get this little like slice of life moment from Quincy Jones and him talking about like, just
Hmm.
a very important memory to him, something that matters. And I think just that alone, like it really just shows like his significance, his impact, and it's one that truly is never going to be forgotten. So definitely rest in peace for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I I was actually gonna watch The Wiz for the first time,
So yeah,
coincidentally really, really soon.
I actually haven't seen it the
Um
whole thing. I've seen like it's funny. That's one of those movies
mhm,
where like back when like they used to show movies on TV like all the time, I would always
mhm,
like see like the last like 20-30 minutes, but I have not seen the rest of it.
mhm.
So
Yeah, no, I definitely have to watch that now because I
what
got
is so
really into yeah, I got really into Off the Wall last month a lot, and so I was just kind of
oh
like,
yeah.
doing some research and kind of how like that came together, like Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson.
I'm listening to a
And
lot
so
of Michael Jackson lately as well, actually.
mhm, fire, fire, that's fire.
Uh,
So yeah, so I just want to say that, firstly, because I think that's just like, really important. Quickly, we do have a question. When do you think he's dropping the album? I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know anymore.
who
I
knows?
don't know
Who
anymore.
knows?
That's a great
Hopefully
question. Thank you
soon.
for asking. Yeah, so
Hopefully
let's
not,
get into
months
mhm.
from now.
Yeah, so and of course one more time, just rest in peace to one of the
Yes.
greatest to ever do it. So yeah, so we are gonna talk about Timeless finally. Kevin and I will talk about Timeless. We're also gonna talk about Sao Paulo. But first, the main thing that we're mainly gonna talk about though, and this is probably gonna take up most of the conversation, admittedly, is the massive news that we got today that Kevin and I have been waiting for. I know all of
Yes.
X has been waiting. That the Hurry Up Tomorrow film, it was before the untitled Trey Edward Schultz weekend film is actually going to come out, which is it's really exciting. I'm very excited. So, before we get into the in depth about like what we do know and stuff like that, Kevin, do you have any just basic thoughts you want to say first off, right
I
off the
mean,
bat?
I don't think there's any way to talk about this without talking about the way I found out. Because I was in the theater seeing the line, and I was the only one in the theater. And I get this message from Violet, and it says, "Oh, Kevin, are you alive?" And I'm like, "Sure. I mean, I guess you want to call me." And then a few minutes later, Kevin, and then I go onto Facebook, and I'm like, "Holy shit! Okay, that's what we're doing." And I was
Yeah.
so fucking excited the second I saw this.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. I said this on Facebook. We really just need to give it up for Lionsgate because this is now like the
Yeah.
second project that they have taken that seemingly nobody wanted to acquire, and they've now picked it up and actually made sure that like not only is it a film that's going to be released, but it's going to get a wide release and it's going to get like the proper marketing, all that stuff. I think it's great to see. Now, yes, we just saw this with Megalopolis, and well, that's not a very good film. Hopefully, this does not turn out to be that way, but I'm just happy that we're living in a world where this film is able to come out. I think it was always an essential part of this final album. It was meant to be a companion piece. And, I said this on, I think, my Facebook, where I said, like, you just really couldn't have one without the other. I think if he didn't have this movie, it just would feel kind of incomplete because they're really supposed to be a part of, like, one big project, and just seeing how all that hard work, how all of that has, seeing it finally come to fruition, getting to see like what Jenna Ortega is going to do, Barry Keoghan, their involvement. I'm really excited to see that. But also just another Trey Edward Schultz movie that really excites me. I think he's a fantastic director. I fucking adored Waves. That's one of my favorite movies of 2019 and of the last decade in general. I just really love that film a lot. It Comes at Night's very good too, but Waves is like, that's the one that really just made me realize, holy shit, this guy is an incredible director. And so I'm really excited to see what he ends up doing here. I think, like we talked about before, if this film is successful, I think this could really start the actual beginning of like Abel's career as an actor. I think this could be a much better role for him. I think there's a lot that he can really bring to the table, and I'm just really excited to see what comes of this film. I think, like I said, we've heard so much about it. It's kind of been in secrecy. There hasn't been any marketing because, well, we didn't even know if it was going to happen. But it's just really great to see us go from, you can literally watch our last video where we were like kind of starting to accept the fact that like it probably isn't going to be a thing, to now we can actually say, okay, it's coming out. It has a title. We don't have a release date, but we know at least it's going to come out. We have a studio that acquired it. And that to me is much better shape than where we were literally just like a month ago. So I'm very, very excited for this.
Yeah, no, I agree with every single thing you just said. Yeah, no, just like seriously, first thing is just like shout out to Lionsgate for real
Oh, yes.
because like I was starting to really lose hope,
Yeah.
because when the trades came out, when they that big like sort of piece on Euphoria season 3 happened, and they
Yeah.
mentioned how this film was just kind of in like a really unfortunate like limbo kind of phase. of just like distributors didn't want to like pick it up, and no one was really biting to get it. And I was like, man, like I don't know. And then because I had also had no idea that Live Nation funded the film. Like I
Mhm.
believe it's a $20 million budget. Um,
Yep.
and so I was losing hope. But I am such a
Yep.
massive like fan of filmmaking and film. Like film means so much to me. It's the first art form I fell in love with. And I adore Abel so much. I didn't like The Idol, but I still really
Great show.
wanted
What do
to
you
see.
mean?
Guys, yeah, we can go into a whole can of worms with
Oh
that.
man.
But I didn't like The Idol, but I still really the entire time though, and I want to think about this film, like after I saw The Idol, because the film got announced a little before The Idol came out. I remember is like I was like I feel like Trey Edward Schultz and just like what we knew about the film that has been leaked a little bit that I do know of. It just seemed like a much like more comfortable project for Abel. I mean, because like it's literally
Yeah.
going to be dealing with like the weekend, so it that goes without saying. But like I just feel like, I mean, with all like I don't want to be disrespectful too much, but Edward Schultz, in my opinion, is just a much better filmmaker and writer than Sam
Oh yeah.
Levinson is,
Oh
in
yeah.
my opinion. It Comes at Night. I love that film.
Yeah.
Waves, I really like a lot. I haven't seen his first film, which is it called Kershaw?
Appreciate, yeah. So I
Yeah.
actually am planning to watch that this year. It's a Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
movie. I've been planning to watch it for Thanksgiving like every single year, and I think this year I'm finally going to go ahead and do that. So I'm excited to check that one out because I've
Fire.
heard people say that like it's turning into a modern classic of sorts. So
That's fire. That's fire. Yeah, I gotta watch that. And so, like, I just had a lot of faith in this, and the cast is so good.
yes,
Like Jenna Ortega, I love. Barry Keoghan, I've been a fan of for quite a long time now. Like Dunkirk, Banshees
Kirk,
of
yeah.
Inisherin. I haven't seen Saltburn still actually,
Oh,
which is
that's
crazy.
crazy
I just kind of slacked off of movies last
film. Yeah.
year. I still gotta watch that one. But I've had so much faith in this project, and just belief in it, and the things that I have known about it. There are a few leaks about the film that I do know of. That I'm not gonna say what they are because I don't want to like ruin it for anybody who doesn't know. But just like getting the confirmation that it is very much indeed connected to the album and the rollout. It's really like relieving as like a fan. I'm really excited to see it. And the main thing that I am really happy about is that it's gonna be in theaters, which
Yes.
to me is crazy. I don't know how it's gonna do. We're gonna have to wait and see. I feel like films connected to albums or concert films, it can be really like hit and miss in terms of how they
Mhm.
do commercially, like in theaters. Just for any artist, I feel like that is,
The Idol,
but
I
like I.
had like a pretty steady, like it had good ratings for like the first couple episodes. So like
Mhm.
I do
Yeah,
think there's a
that's
I
no
do think
that's
people would
yeah,
be
oh, sorry.
interested. So like
Mhm. No, absolutely, no, I think it's gonna do decent.
yeah,
It will be
it's not gonna
interesting
be
to
Eric's
see
tour,
just.
but like
Oh, no, nothing's gonna be like the Eras Tour.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting to see how the marketing is done for it, because, to kinda answer, I guess, a little bit the question when I think is dropping the album, I don't know now, honestly, because because I've been thinking it's gonna be November, which is still very well could be.
yeah,
I have seen some people, on EXO Twitter and, just on Reddit be like, maybe the album will still come out, in, November, like maybe December, we'll see. Maybe the film will come out like next year, like it might, maybe debut at like, like at Sundance, for example, or like,
mhm,
even till March, like at South by Southwest. We'll have to wait and see, what happens, I guess, with that. But I now just I don't know, because I will say I have really liked, all of the singles for the album. The Sao Paulo concert goes without saying, I thought it was incredible. But like the
oh
singles to
yeah,
the album, like I love Dancing in the Flames. That is still my favorite single out of all the three that we've heard so
yeah,
far. Timeless I like quite a bit, in Sao Paulo I really like. But the whole rollout so far, admittedly, the main thing about it is like I don't want to say it's so much like a like complaint per se, but it's like I have felt like it's been a little bit like
Sporadic.
messy. Yeah, it's been a little messy in terms of like the direction that we're going in because like we'll have like such strong visuals in the concerts and stuff like that. And I personally liked the Dancing in the Flames music video. And so, I could it was, it's very like simple production, just sort of being
Yeah,
in this like purgatory and trying to get to like the light, sun and all that stuff, like, but I liked it. But then you have stuff like the Timeless and the Sao Paulo music video where I'm kind of sitting back to myself and I'm like, okay, how is this gonna fit in
yeah,
to this era? Because we started off, this chapter, officially with, those 3 animated videos, after, like, the Sao Paulo concert announcement, and it was like, as I was thinking it was gonna be, it was so, deep into, like, like, the religious, aspects of it and, like, the childhood, going back to, like, the child, this, like, rebirth, and just, like, like, even this connection to, like, his mother, like, these really, like, emotional, heavy things, like, dissecting the artist and who is, just, like, Abel himself, and just like all those really complex themes, that I could get into. And I feel like they were starting to be fleshed out really well in the concert and Dancing the Flames, but then we have Timeless and Sub Hollow, where like I really like the songs, but
mhm,
like I'm just really, like, curious as to how it's all gonna fit into that
yeah,
album, and especially after seeing the videos, I'm just very much "Where are we specifically going?"
yeah,
And I agree with a lot of people. The point I'm trying to make, to finally get to it, is I agree with a lot of people that visually, like, we're very, like, obviously it goes without saying, of course, in a lot of ways, but, like, clearly the film is going to be what defines this visually,
right,
and stuff like that. And I think the concerts and stuff like that, um, and so I'm really just interested in seeing now how the rollout's gonna shape out now. Like, are we gonna get more singles? Like, is the album gonna come out before the film, or are they gonna delay the album maybe to have it come out like with the film? I read something from a trade. I don't remember which one it was, but they said that the release date for the film is imminent, and so like it's probably gonna be soon. But the thing is, like, I just am wondering how it's going to be, like, marketed in, like, conjunction with each other.
right,
Because I actually was of the thought, before it got announced so that, like, a few months ago, before the film got acquired, today, I actually thought the film was gonna come out before the album. I thought
yeah,
it was gonna come out, like, a week or so before the album. And so I'm assuming that's not gonna be the case now.
yeah,
But I don't know, I'm just interested in how the whole rollout's gonna operate now, because some Weekend fans have said this, and I agree with them. Definitely after this, I feel like the rollout for the overall project, like, I know we had the concert, we've had the singles, but, like, I feel like it's really gonna start to take form, like, now. Like, I feel like it's all gonna finally come together a bit,
mhm,
because I don't know how you feel, Kevin, but, like, like, I think we're in agreement with everything. Like, the singles have been awesome in my
oh
opinion.
yeah,
But, like, do you agree with me that, like, just with, like, everything we've had, like, the concert, now, like, the videos and just, like, everything, like, it has been a little bit, like, just, like,
mm,
I don't know how to it just something about it just isn't, like, clicking fully in terms of,
yeah,
the direction. It just seems like we're going in a lot of different places,
yeah,
at once, and it's not coming together quite as smoothly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's weird because like I look at his like previous 2 albums he put out, After Hours. He gave us a release date. He released like 4 singles and all of them were really good and we knew like exactly how it was, what the album was going to be, how it was all going to fit together. Did a really good job with that, started showing the new hair, the new like the look he was going for. So we had all of that pretty much mapped out. Then you look at Dawn FM, which was kind of the antithesis of that. He released 1 single. We didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into, other than Jim Carrey was involved. And that there was some sort of old makeup attached to it. But other than that, we didn't really know a lot. And then you look at this album and you're looking at an album that right now, I can't really tell you the vision because it just feels very kind of all over the place. I think like yes, those animated videos, it seemed like we knew what this was going to be. You felt that sense of finality. You felt like this is all kind of, taking all those themes he's explored previously and like tying them together. And it's all going to culminate into something really special. And, you have Dance in the Flames, which very much feels like this sort of like come to Jesus type song. It's like him kind of reconciling with his inner demons and doing it in like a non-toxic way, and I think that worked really well. But then when you look at these other two singles, they feel so distinctly different from what we've gotten that yeah, I'm kind of like you where it's like I don't really know what this album is going to be anymore. And also I don't know when this movie's going to come out because if I'm looking at like
Yeah.
release dates right now, because I literally said this to you. I said that I thought what he was ultimately going to do is he's going to pull a Starboy. He's going to release this on Thanksgiving weekend, but like he's not going to compete with fucking Wicked. He's not going to compete with Moana 2. He's not going to want to compete with Gladiator 2. So like when the
No.
hell are you going to put this out? December? I mean, I guess he could do like the first week of December. There's not really anything major coming out then aside from like a couple movies. Like you could put it in like the first week of December, but then and
Yeah.
I
Okay,
do
actually.
think right now I do think the album probably comes first, but I feel like he's going to release the movie like the weekend of that album. He's going to want it to go, you know, he's going to want it to be somewhat close to each other. I don't think we're going to get the album and then a few months later we're going to get the movie because I think the hype will just kind of have died down by then. So I think he's going to want to do it while the iron is hot, while people are excited, while people are still listening to the album, while people are still, you know, while it's still fresh in your mind. I think that's when he's going to want to release the movie. So I think it really just does come down to like, what is his real vision? And this is my theory. I literally just came up with this as you were describing. I actually do think the reason he hasn't said anything surrounding the release date is because I think he was trying to stay hopeful that this movie does get greenlit and that this movie does
Oh, a
actually
thousand
something.
percent. Yeah.
And I think that's why he hasn't really given us any concrete dates or anything like that. He wanted to make sure that the movie was taken care of first because the movie is just that important to the album that you really just can't have one without the other. So I think now that the
Hmm.
movie's actually like in flux, I think now we're going to actually start to hear a bit more of, you know, some rumblings of when this is going to come out, give us a little bit better of an idea of what this is going to be. Maybe he's even going to start to show some footage from the movie. I think we're going to start to see a lot more. So I think that's really why it's been so sworn in secrecy. But yeah, I mean, especially we're going to talk about the videos in a little bit, but like very, very different from what we have seen up to this point. Feels very disconnected, but honestly also kind of feels like maybe that was intentional. Maybe he's saving the biggest stuff for the movie and he isn't really trying to give us too much of an idea of what it's really all about until then. So I think it is one of those things where like, yes, it feels disjointed, but I think it really was because there were things that needed to happen first for us to really get a sense of the vision. And now that that thing is happening, I think now he's going to give us more of an idea of what it's really all about.
You know, I agree with literally everything that you're
Yeah.
saying. My because that's the thing that you said, and you know, I think a lot of people also feel this way. Is that like very clearly like this rollout has been a little bit hindered by not knowing what's going to happen with this
Yes.
film, you know, and it's such a relief, like I said at the beginning, that we now know it is going to
Oh yeah.
come out. My only thing, honestly, is like, you know, I of course am excited for the album. I think everybody knows that. It's
Oh, are
most
you?
the album, like yeah, it's most exciting thing like
Oh,
ever.
oh
Especially because we're
really?
getting
Didn't know that.
a movie involved, a movie involved with it. It's
Hmm.
awesome. But I
I
it
think you're a fan of the
would
weekend. I don't know.
oh gosh. I just say to myself though, it's like, okay, so if the album still comes out this year, as we all have been like assuming and stuff like that, it's like, but the film doesn't, like, I just do wonder how they're gonna handle the film, though, because are they gonna try to, like, bring it to Sundance, you know, for example, because that's in
I could see it.
January?
I could see it.
Yeah, I believe there's a Berlin festival in
Yeah.
February or so, then you have, like, South by Southwest in March, like, you
Yeah.
know, how are we gonna what are we gonna do? Because you know, Trey Schultz, you know, is a very respected director in the, you know, the spaces, and so I'm sure, you know, Lionsgate, of course, very much has the resources to, you know, set up, like, a big, like, premiere kind of thing, you know, and so I'm just not sure exactly when the album is gonna come out, you know, exactly anymore because I have been thinking if like, is there a chance the album gets delayed to next year potentially? The only thing though is on the album pre-order that's been up for about to be 2 months on the Exo store, it does say that the vinyl and the CD will ship less than 6 months after the pre-order date went up.
Right.
Um, and so if I'm doing my math correctly, I think it would have to come out to meet that deadline, I think by March, I
Yeah.
think. or February. I think it's March. If I'm doing my math wrong, then my
Yeah.
apologies. And so, I mean, there is a chance, that if he wanted to delay it to March, he could do that because South by Southwest happens in March, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Also,
he
so,
could
but
easily do like a South by Southwest like in the beginning and then release it like at the end of the month. He could easily do that.
yeah, so I guess we'll wait and see what happens, and so but again, like the one thing that I really want to stress mostly is that I trust Abel and Republic and
Okay.
his team, and just like and Lionsgate, like I know they're gonna handle this like the best way that they can, especially because the album, the pre-order is up and there's 3 singles and stuff like that, and so like I know there definitely is sort of like definitely probably a pretty big movement internally to be like, okay, like how can we get this going.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. I guess. I mean, I'm pretty excited. I
Yeah.
mean, one of the things that I kind of had known, I'm not gonna say exactly what it is specific because I just don't want to ruin it for anybody who doesn't know. But they finally did confirm today that it is gonna be like a psychological thriller kind of movie in the Deadline article. And it comes at night. Really got under my skin, that movie.
Yes.
In ways was so emotionally devastating and harrowing.
Especially
And
the
like
first like hour.
yeah, and I just feel like Trader Schultz handles subtlety so brilliantly. And so I'm just so excited to see the concepts of the album that we do know of that are really well established, like the themes of like, forgiveness and rebirth and religion and
Mhm.
love, and so I'm really interested in seeing how that comes together. I actually do, just to kind of go through it quickly, just might as well. I do have a presentation here,
Oh
everybody.
shit.
Oh my gosh. I just took some screenshots of most of the Deadline article. Not the whole thing is in here. Um, I'm gonna just like let me share my screen so I can read it better. There we go. So just kind of talks about quickly, Lionsgate stepped up to land worldwide theatrical distribution rights to Hurry Up Tomorrow, the new title of a film that marks the feature starring debut of The Weeknd, Abel Tesfaye. The Grammy-winning and Oscar and Emmy-nominated artist stars alongside Jenna Ortega and Barry Keoghan. Um, I will ask you a question,
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Um, are so in terms of like like Jenna Ortega and Barry Keoghan, like what are you excited? Because I feel like you can speak to it a bit better because you've seen more stuff
Yeah.
like with them. What are you excited for them to bring to the project? Like you're hoping for, like, at
Oh,
least because they're fantastic. Like
here's the thing. Barry Keoghan is best when he's playing like these really weird, off-putting characters that like there's something about them that just like really unsettles you. And so I feel like he's gonna fit really well into here. But I also kind of it'd be interesting to see if he's not that, if he's against type here and he's a little bit more of the straight man and he's a little bit more reserved in that way. And so I'm excited to see like what he brings to the table. But Jenna Ortega, oh my god, I think she is going to fucking crush it in this movie. Everything we have heard up to this point, this is going to be like, I think, one of her best performances. I think that she does so great, similar to Barry Keoghan, just playing these like deranged weirdos. Like that's kind of when she is at her best. And I feel like she's going to do such a great job here. I mean, the reason Wednesday is as good as it is because of Jenna Ortega, how well she fits that role, how off-putting she is, how she has this very like nihilistic type attitude. And I feel like she's going to channel that very well, but while also being this very like giving this very over the top type performance. I think she's just gonna crush it in this movie. I'm so excited to see what she's gonna do. And here's the thing with Jenna Ortega: most of the time, aside from maybe a few, she does not latch onto a project unless she is passionate about it. She does not take a role unless it's one that she really feels like is going to utilize her. She's literally now the producer on Wednesday season 2 because she did not like things they did with that character in season 1 and she wants more control. So like I feel like she is going to be incredible here. I feel like she's going to give an amazing performance. It's going to utilize her talents really well. And then like I said, Barry, who knows what the fuck he's going to do? I mean, this guy was literally the Joker in the Batman. So like who knows? Like
yeah.
there's
Mhm.
so many possibilities when it comes to him. I feel like I said, if I'm The Weeknd, I want to see him give that weird type performance that he's known for. But I can also see Abel being like, you know what, Barry, I want you to dial that down a bit. I want to see you play a more normal person. and see like what you can do in that. So I'm just really excited. I think the fact that these two are on board, that just heightens my excitement that much more. I'm already excited that like Abel's there and you got Trey Edward Schultz and also Daniel Lopton. Let's not forget him. Fantastic composer, always really, kills it in that department. So really excited to see. Can you imagine, side note, can you imagine if Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross were attached to this? That'd be fucking crazy. But Daniel Lopton is a fantastic composer as well. So like, very excited for him.
Trent Reznor doesn't like The Weeknd, unfortunately.
Oh damn. Okay. Well,
yeah. I won't get into that, but unfortunately, Trent Reznor doesn't mess with Abel because
let's throw that out then. All right.
Yeah,
So don't want to start a whole discourse with that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
gonna get all these
that's a very get all these
9-Inch Nails fans on this video and be like, "Don't talk about The Weeknd."
Yeah, I forget exactly what it was, but something with like the Starboy Tour production design or some. I don't remember.
I don't know. We can talk about it off stream, but
yeah,
anyway,
I forget what it was. Yeah, I don't get too much into that drama, but it was something.
I think having the point is, before I went on that tangent, as we typically do in these videos, having someone like Jenna Ortega and Barry Keoghan on board, that just has me that much more excited. The fact that he has two of the greatest actors working today, two great character actors, in fact, working today, and he's going to have their talents utilized in this film. I mean, come on, that alone, like, that is why this should have been acquired. I feel like that alone is like Lionsgate's like, we can't possibly pass this up. Like those two are in there. We need to at least see what their performances are going to be. And if it is any bit as good as what we're expecting from them, this movie's going to be something really fucking special. And I'm just so excited to see how it turns out. So yeah, having those two in there, again, it just really just ratchets up the excitement in a way that I didn't even think was possible. So can't wait to see what they do here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know, I'm excited. So, goes on to say, Turds Touch Directed was now being called a psychological thriller, and people who like know me know like I really, really like psychological thrillers.
Oh yeah.
I have the poster for like David Cronenberg's masterpiece Dead Ringers in the background there. I have like Under the Skin poster. I would say those like kind of really get into like the psychological horror thriller type stuff. You can think of like famous stuff like The Shining, for example, and stuff like that. So I'm really just really excited to kind of see like his take, in Abel's, world of just like this, just very, just like, psychological sort of like terror and stuff like that with like the music combined. Daniel Patton, I'm a pretty big fan of One Tricks Point Never. And his scores for Good Time and Uncut Gems are excellent.
Uncut Gems especially.
Uncut Gems is excellent. And I know the score, as it says here, was done with Abel and Daniel like combined. And I'm really excited. I'm hoping there's a lot of like ambient kind of stuff, like creepy ambient kind of stuff. Yes. But again, that's just like the ambient fan and me just being a little nerd. And so yeah, and again, it's confirms here, it's an extension of the album and stuff like that. Another quote of the chair of Lionsgate Motion Picture Group, talking about how, Abel is a visionary whose art cannot be confined by any single medium, which I very much agree with because his music videos are usually just like fantastic. I think Abel just has proven, there's even, there's the comic, like, shout to Abel, of course. So Hurry Up Tomorrow. Hello. With Hurry Up Tomorrow in partnership with Trey, his musical universe expands onto the big screen with a psychological flair that will usher in a new cinematic experience for fans. We are thrilled to bring it to audiences worldwide. And just say one more time too, I'm so glad it's going to be in theaters. Because I was really nervous it wasn't going to be, because like I really want to be able to see this with my mom and my Grammy in theaters. And so because
that's what it's all about, especially if it's like really
really, I really want to see this with my mom and my Grammy. They went with me to the Gillette Stadium show, and I just really want to be able to see it with them because I know they'll be down for it. So yeah, it's probably going to be a graphic movie. They could care less, as long as it's good, that's all they care about. And so I am excited to have that moment with them. And so yeah, and it talks about here. Tesfaye is accomplished at melding genres and creating distinct soundscapes, and the movie takes the title of his new album, which is a culmination of a trilogy of studio albums, the first of which were After Hours and Dawn FM. The last thing I have here, what was that?
I said I've never heard of those albums before.
Oh, really? You haven't?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I've recommended them. They're pretty good.
Yeah,
and then just talks here about some of the producers and his team and, his Manic Phase production studio. and yeah, just some of like the crafts teams and stuff like that. And so yeah, so that is just a little bit of the article there. And so yeah, so I mean that's I don't really know what else to say about the movie because I don't want to get into some of the things that I do know that have been leaked because that would just be spoiling, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that to people. But
There's
any
probably
other
people
final?
out there that have also done that, so, like, you can probably, see those on there.
Yeah, is any thoughts you have at all? Any concluding thoughts before we just kind of get to finally talking about Timeless with you and also Sao Paulo?
I think also I just want to reiterate the fact that, like, yeah, it's coming to theaters, and that in itself is a fucking miracle. The fact that it almost didn't even see the light of day, that this was a project that was just going to be shelved forever. The fact that I can actually get to see this in theaters and it's going to get a wide release, and who knows, maybe it's IMAX, maybe it's Dolby. Like, that'd be pretty fucking cool if that
Woo!
happened.
Ooh,
Like,
Abel and IMAX. Don't get me started, Kevin. Don't get me
I'm not
started.
ruling out the possibility. Megalopolis was literally an IMAX, so, like, I'm not ruling it
That's
out at
true.
all.
Oh
So,
my
like,
god, that would
just the
oh.
thought of
Whew.
that just has me so excited. Like I said, like you, I was thinking that the only way we get this movie is if somebody leaked it accidentally. I thought this was gonna be like fucking Sandy Cheek SpongeBob movie or Plankton the movie where they leak it on
Mhm.
Twitter months before it's supposed to come out, and then it ends up coming onto the streaming service. And I'm happy that that's not the case, that we're all going to get to witness it on the big screen, and I'm just really excited to see how it turns out. Just give us a release date now, give us a trailer now, because I will be eagerly awaiting when those things happen. Can you imagine if this comes out when I fucking see you? That would be amazing. I don't think it's going to, but, like, just imagine.
That'd be crazy. There's
Yeah.
so many films coming out though in the next 2
No,
months. Like I don't know. I'll have
like
to
I
wait
said,
and
I think
see.
the first week of December is really the only time he could do it, because there's really nothing crazy coming out. Like, there's a bunch of indie stuff, but, like, nothing major in that sense. So it's like I think that's the
The
only
Interstellar
time.
release is the first week of
Oh fuck
December.
yeah. Okay, so not even then.
So I mean, if they don't want to put it in premium in theaters though, because Interstellar is only going to be in IMAX, I believe. So
Oh yeah.
I don't think they're putting it
It's the
into any other
loudest
theaters
jet
aside.
plane in the world.
Yeah, no, y'all. If y'all have not, I mean, Interstellar is a very famous movie, but if y'all have the chance to go see that in IMAX in a few weeks, like, take the opportunity. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
And
If you
so
thought
and so
Civil
yeah.
War was loud, just wait.
That movie was also loud in IMAX. Oh my goodness.
It was.
Quickly address this comment quickly. I think the album trailer, which was released as the opening to the film with that ambient music, that would be cool. That would be really
I
cool.
could see that.
That music was so good. It was so eerie
Oh
and
yeah.
just like, oh, it was just so good. Yeah, no. And so that's
Imagine if,
actually
like,
yeah.
imagine those, like, animated stuff we've seen, like, if that's, like, in the movie, that would be really cool if they did that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they do. I'm very interested in seeing fully
Yeah.
how it all comes together. And so yeah, so quickly just to get into it, we're probably not going to spend like too much time
Yeah.
talking about these, just because Timeless has been out for so long now, but stuff probably
Yes.
just come out recently. Kevin, quickly, just to kind of give your thoughts on it. I have really nothing to say about Timeless besides the fact that like I still really like the song
Yeah.
and I love the production and like the scale that's used on it, like that do 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 do. Like I don't
Mhm.
pronounce it. I don't know how to
Oh yeah.
pronounce it. I don't know how to emulate it. I love the bass line to it. I love just like the massiveness of the production. Mike Dean killed the mixing on that. The Dolby Atmos mix of that song is so good. But do you have anything you want to say about Timeless quickly?
So the only thing I'll say about it is that, like, I agree with all the things that you said, but, like, if I had to pick a song that right now I'm like, how does this really fit into the grand scheme of things? It probably is Timeless, because when you initially shared with me, I thought it was going to be off a Playboy Cardi album. I did not think it was
I
going to
thought so
be
too.
on
Hmm.
his, and now I'm just kind of like, okay, I mean, we'll see how this fits in, but it feels so disconnected from the other stuff. And look, other stuff does too. Maybe something in the background that we're going to talk about also feels a bit disconnected and weird. But this is like the one thing where I'm like, so how does this song really fit in the grand scheme of things? Like, I enjoy it. I'm just surprised it's coming on this album, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I am excited and interested to see how it all kind of fits in.
Yeah.
Like again, like I kind of definitely do feel like we're going in a lot of different directions all at
Oh yeah.
once, and it's not coming together totally
No.
perfectly so far. But I am really excited to see how it fits in the album because it is a very good song in my opinion. And so no, I just wanted to finally cover that with you quickly because I
Yeah.
did make its own little live stream about it, like you did with Dancing in the Flames. And so yeah, have you seen the music video for Timeless?
I have not.
Yeah, no, that's honestly probably one of my least favorite weekend music videos
Okay.
ever. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I wasn't feeling it. That's like the main thing I think of right now when it comes to being like, okay, how is this gonna fit into the
Yeah.
Hurry Up Tomorrow era? Fully, but it is a very good song.
I'll have to check it
And
out. I'll check it out after this.
you know, it's not like a horrible video or anything. I think it's
No.
just compared to like all the other
Yeah.
visuals that we've gotten. I'm like, I don't understand like
That's
fully
why I
what the
feel like
yeah.
that's why I feel like he's saving it for the movie. Like, this is just like the
Exactly.
warm up.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
gonna see all the
Ab-
crazy shit we expect to see in the movie. We normally would see in these videos in the movie. So it's like
yeah.
maybe that's why
Mhm.
it's underwhelming.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And so yes, that's timeless. You know, I still listen to it a lot. It's already my second most played song of the year on Apple Music to the surprise of nobody. Can you guess what my number one is, Kevin?
Oh, it's definitely not Dancing in the Flames.
And so yeah, so shout out to Timeless. And I guess to kind of conclude it now, the Sao Paulo. What are your thoughts on it? Because I think it's pretty incredible. What do you think?
Oh my god, it is such a fucking banger of a song. Like, if you just want to talk about a song that like just gets you hyped and puts you in such a great mood, look no further than St. Paulo. Like, I enjoyed it at the concert when we watched it and things like that, but actually getting to hear like the full version of it, it's like, holy shit, this song is just so good. I said this to you and I'll say it again. It gives me like the vibes of like you're at a dance in like middle school or high school and they have like a playlist of songs, and I feel like this is one of those songs that comes on and you just start like vibing to. Like, it just gives me
Mm-hmm.
that vibe. Like, this is going to be one of those songs that like when people go to a party, they're going to be blasting this on like full speed. Like, it's just one of those kind of songs. And I feel like it's, if we're talking about like just really fun and energetic songs, it's one of the best he's ever done. It truly is. I think in terms
I
of that,
agree.
on that level, it definitely is. I don't think overall it is, but like, his vocals coupled with what Anita's doing and like the club feel of it all and like the do 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 do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
so good. I'm a big fan of it. I've been listening to it constantly. It's definitely, I think, going to be one of my most replayed weekend songs. Like I said, I don't think it's like greatest ever, but in terms of like really just songs that get you hyped and songs that are just really fun to listen to and dance to, I think that this is definitely one of the best he's done for sure. I think it's also probably going to end up being one of the most radio friendly. I can see this song being played a lot. I can see this being one of those songs that like even non-fans of the weekend, like, oh, we know St. Paulo. We get down to that all the time. Like, we always are listening to that song. We're always excited when it comes on. Like, I can definitely see that being the case. So yeah, really big fan. I think it's really great. I do think Dancing in the Flames is the best one he's put out of the three, but St. Paulo is like very, very high up there. Like, it's not even, they're definitely pretty close to each other, I would say, in terms of like my enjoyments.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I just that like I mean, just shout out to just Brazil and just like that
Oh yeah.
Brazilian funk sound, just like the massiveness of it all and just like the exciting like energy of it all. And yeah, no, it's a great song. And it's such like just like a journey, the song, just like the different like movements and phases of the songs. Like it just feels just so like grand and I just love the lyrics on and like the storytelling there. I go into that more in depth in my reaction video, so I'll kind of just like leave it for there for now because I just don't like repeat myself too much. But yeah, no, it's a great song, and I've listened to it a ton. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And so yeah. I guess the very last thing quickly is because everybody has been talking about it. The music video. I actually it took me until today to watch it. Because I don't know why. Just everybody was talking about it, and I was like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. But I've just been so busy the last few days that I just haven't really gotten around to just to watching it. But dude, I'll let you go first. So, what are your thoughts on the video? Because a lot of people have had opinions on it. Also, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Dude, straight up, what the fuck was this? Like, honestly, what the fuck was this? Like, this is the biggest troll job that I have ever seen. You cannot tell me that this was like his idea. This was something he wanted to put out because people really want a music video to happen. He's like, wouldn't it be funny if I did this? And he did, and absolutely insane. Look, this is what I will say about this video, and like you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There was a time a few months ago where you and our very good friend FilmFano599 were having me watch a bunch of really fucking weird music videos, really fucked up songs with like all these weird lyrics and weird moments.
Oh, come to Daddy by Aphex Twin.
Oh yeah, to like gauge a
Yeah,
reaction, to like get a reaction
yeah.
out of you. And I feel like this is very much would have been on that list of like videos where it's like, oh, we got to show Kevin this video. Like this is very much on that level. Like this is the most abstract shit I think he's ever done. Like, look, he's done some crazy stuff in videos, but this is on a different level. Like the second that she was walking by, I'm like, okay, she's pregnant. I don't really know where this is going. And then it fucking starts talking. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you sure this is what we're doing? And then she goes near her car, and I felt like I was watching Teton for a second. If you know, you know. And then the way it ends, I'm like, I can't even wrap my head around it. Like I literally just watched it like before we started this, and these images are going to be ingrained in my head forever. Like truly, I don't think I'm ever going to forget this video. Like the movie could come out and it could be fantastic, and I still feel like this is the thing that I will be thinking about the most when it comes to this era, because it is just that weird and that insane, and I don't even know if I really liked it, but then at the same time I'm just endlessly thinking about it. So truly, what the fuck, I have no words. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's like I mean, honestly, I kind of liked it a lot. Honestly, I thought it was like really interesting. The stomach talking, is definitely interesting. It's pretty out there. I really, honest to God, have no idea how thematically. I mean, besides the fact of like the maybe like the baby and the rebirth of Abel officially the child. I don't know.
I thought she was about to give birth to him. I thought that's what was going to happen.
I don't know.
I was ready for it.
Like she has like the rejuvenating mask on in the beginning, which that kind of makes sense thinking about it like that. Like the rebirth and sort of like like the cleansing and sort of like the whole thing. But like I don't know. I mean, I thought it's a funny video. It's a fun video.
It's funny. It's definitely funny, and I feel like it's a great video.
Out there. I admire it for that. I mean, I've seen some pretty crazy films before, so like it didn't like phase me that much because of that, but I still was watching it being like, this is a crazy video. And I really would love to know how it all came together and stuff like that. But I also want to say a shout out to Anita. Anita is awesome. And
go watch Hip Pig. He's in Hip Pig. Go watch that if you want to see more.
Literally,
Anita.
What is that movie? Like everybody on Twitter is like, what is that movie?
It's a movie where Jason Sudeikis plays a detective that's a pig, and he's trying to capture an elephant, played by Lily Singh. It's great.
Interesting. Sounds emotional.
Yeah, and Rainn Wilson plays a villain that wants to put her in a circus act.
Oh. So interesting. Hey, that's something every day, folks. And so I mean, I thought it was honestly kind of it was cool in my opinion. It's gonna be a very memorable video.
Oh yeah.
Again, I have no clue how it really fits in fully into this era. I don't really know, but yeah. So I think that's basically everything we really have to say. Mainly we just wanted to come on here and talk about the film news, but of course, because we talk about Dancing in the Flames in depth, I think I might as well talk about Timeless and Sao Paulo quickly. So any final thoughts, Kevin, before I head out with you?
The only other thing I'm going to say is it would be really cool if it turns out that like this is one of those things where like, he's always talked about how Michael Jackson is like his inspiration for like these videos. It'd be cool if he went full Michael Jackson and that all of these are actually scenes from the movie, but they're like disconnected and feel out of context, and that it actually is something that like is all going to come together. It'd be really cool if that happened. But again, it's like, how the fuck do you tie all of this in? But I guess we'll find out when the movie comes out. Either way, great time to be a Weeknd fan. It always is, but especially now. I feel like it's a great time to be a Weeknd fan. I love that this movie's actually going to be a thing. I like that we now can kind of start speculating as to like when the album's going to come out. I think that definitely what we thought is probably not going to be the case anymore, just considering that now there's also this movie. And like I said, I don't think he would release the movie so far away from the album. I think he's going to make sure that they're at least released in a way that's like somewhat close together, at least probably like the same week or whatever. But either way, just really excited about this. Thank you for having me on. As always, this was a lot of fun, even though this is also on my channel, so technically I had you on. But very excited to see what else comes of this album. If there's another single dropped or anything, I feel like "Wake Me Up" will probably eventually be a single because that one's been promoted a lot. So either way, this was a lot of fun. Really excited to see, like I said, what comes of this album. And yeah, always a fun time, and always a fun time to talk about all this stuff. So XO, everybody, let's go.
Yeah, I think that's like everything you just said there. I'm excited. So film's coming out,
Yes.
and so it's exciting. So yeah, so thank you all for watching this live. If anyone watched this live and you watch this after, thank you all so much. I know again, as I figured I might as well come on here with Kevin, with my little phone buddy here, and
Yes.
talk about the news and the singles. So yeah, so with that, everybody, please take care, and I'll see y'all whatever the next Weekend Hurry Up Tomorrow era video is. And just one more time, just say it. Whenever the album does come out, Kevin and I are going to be doing a full-on discussion on it. I'm thinking we'll probably do maybe like a week after the album or something like
Probably, yeah.
that.
Enough
Yeah,
time
that
for us to
probably works.
process everything.
Yeah, because I don't know, because also that's another thing too. I don't know how long the album's gonna be now. Because there's rumors it might be like a double album.
I
I
can see
will
that.
we'll have to wait and see.
And maybe if
So
he really
yes.
like wants people to like still be excited for the movie, he could do something where it's like, here's some songs, then you have to wait for the movie to like hear all the other ones. I could see him doing that as well.
Yeah, I think like the music he's doing with Daniel, I think that's like its own like separate, like just for like the movie, like that score. I think
Yeah.
it's like its own like separate thing. But I
Right.
am interested in seeing like what specific songs are like in the film and stuff like that.
I feel like they always do in
And
some capacity.
yeah, that's a wait and see. So it's fun and exciting. It's gonna be a fun next few weeks and months,
Yes.
hopefully. And so yeah, so with
Hopefully not
that, thank y'all
years.
for no, no,
Oh my
no,
god, it's
God.
2027. The movie's finally coming out.
Stop it. Anyways, that is all. Thank you all for watching again, and I will see y'all later. All right, bye, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.